Hello everyone, this is Payal Vaja. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will discuss about SUPEC guidelines. So let's get started. These are the list of contents we will discuss in this video. First one is introduction. What is SUPEC guideline? Next one is definition of SUPEC guidelines. And last one is levels of changes. We will discuss one by one. First one is introduction. What is SUPEC? The acronym SUPEC stand for Scale Up and Post Approval Changes. That means SUPEC that is divided in two parts, SU plus PAC. SU means scale up and PAC means post approval changes. So SUPAC that is stand for scale up purpose, and after scale up if any post approval changes is required, that is called as SUPAC guidelines. It refers to the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, which recommended testing and filing actions to be taken by pharmaceutical firm. When it changes the manufacturing process of drug product that has been approved via NDA, new drug application, and abbreviated new drug application, ANDA, or abbreviated antibiotic drug application, AADA. So SUPEC that is refers to the FDA recommended. FDA which recommended one type of testing procedure and filing actions that is taken out by pharmaceutical firm. When any changes occur in manufacturing process of drug product that has been already approved via NDA, new drug application, approved via ANDA, abbreviated new drug application, or AADA, abbreviated antibiotic drug application. So FDA recommended testing and filing actions that is already taken by pharmaceutical firm, and when any changes is occur in manufacturing process of drug product that has been already approved via various applications. This guidance, which provides recommendations to sponsors of new drug applications, abbreviated new drug applications, and abbreviated antibiotic applications, who intend during the post-approval period to change. So, SUPEC guidance, which provide the recommendation. Which type of recommendation it provide? It provide if after scale up, if any post approval changes is required like NDA, ANDA, or AADA. So post approval changes means if approval is occur, but after approval if any changes is required, so that is called as post approval changes. Which type of post approval changes is approvable or acceptable? First one is component changes or any type of composition changes. Next one is site of manufacturer. If manufacturing site, in this site any changes is required, so it is acceptable. The scale up or scale down of manufacturer. And last one is manufacturing process and equipment. So which type of changes is acceptable after approval? First one is component changes or any composition changes is acceptable. Next one is manufacturing site. In manufacturing site, any changes is required, so it is also acceptable. Next one is scale up or scale down of manufacture, so it is acceptable. And last one is if manufacturing process or manufacturing equipment, if any change is required in manufacturing process or manufacturing equipments, all are acceptable. The FDA has issued various guidance for SUPEC changes. So FDA issue various guidelines or guidance, particularly for SUPEC changes. They are designated as three types. First one is SUPEC IR. SUPEC IR means SUPEC means scale up and post approval changes. What is IR? IR for immediate release solid oral dosage form. IR means immediate release solid oral dosage form. Next one is what is MR? SUPEC MR. SUPEC means scale up and post approval changes, while MR that is stand for modified release. Modified release solid oral dosage form. And last one is SUPEC SS. Scale up and post approval changes, and SS means non-sterile semi-solid dosage form. Non-sterile semi-solid dosage form. Examples: which type of semi-solid dosage form? Like creams, ointments, gels, lotions, etc. So FDA issue the various guidance for SUPEC changes. They are designated as SUPEC IR, which stand for immediate release. Second one is SUPEC MR, which is stand for modified release. And last one is SUPEC SS, that is stand for non-sterile semi-solid dosage form. SUPEC guidelines, which defines, first one is level of changes. So SUPEC guidelines defines various level of changes. Which type of changes is required? First one is minor changes, moderate changes, or a major type of changes is required after approval. Second one is filing. SUPEC guidelines also defines filing. Which type of filing is required? So, in filing, annual report is attached. Second one is changes being affected supplements and prior approval supplements. That means in filing, annual report is attached for filing. Next one is if any changes that affect the supplements, they are also attached in filing. And last one is prior approval supplements. Third one is test. SOPEC guidelines also defines various tests. First one is application test. If you are performing any type of test like quality test, quality control test, so stability test, all the tests, it should be written in the application form, and this is filed. Next one is in vitro dissolution test is performed for check the dissolution study, and in vivo dissolution test is also performed for check the dissolution performance. Level of changes. We will discuss three type of level of changes. First one is minor changes, second one is moderate changes, and third one is major changes. So in level of changes, first one is likelihood of impact on formulation quality and performance. That means effect on the formulation quality and performance. So which type of changes is occur? First one, in level 1 changes. Those changes that are unlikely to have any detectable impact on the formulation quality and performance. So what is one level changes? In level 1 changes, that is the changes that are not easily detectable if any changes occur on the formulation quality and performance. So that is called as a minor changes. Examples: changes in the color, flavors, changes in the excipients, they are expressed as a percentage of total formulation. Less than or equal to following range. So level of changes, they are divided into three types. First one is level 1 changes. In level 1 changes, if any changes is required, if any changes is occur that is not easily detectable, that is called as level 1 changes. An example is if changes in any color or flavor, that is changes in the excipients, and that is expressed as a percentage weight by weight of total formulation less than or equal to the following range. So that type of changes, they are not easily detectable effect on the formulation quality or a performance. Second one is level 2 changes. In level 2 changes, changes are those that could have significant impact on formulation quality and performance. So in level 2 changes, that is the changes which significantly affect on the formulation quality and performance, while level 1 changes that doesn't affect any type of formulation quality and performance, so that is not easily detectable, while level 2 changes they directly affect formulation quality and performance. Example of level 2 changes is: example, changes in the technical grade of excipients. Example, AV cell pH 102 versus AV cell pH 200. Change is expressed as percentage weight by weight of total formulation. That is called as level 2 changes. So level 2 changes directly affect the formulation quality and performance. That is some type of moderate changes. So example is changes in the technical grade of excipient like AV cell 10 AV cell pH 102 versus AVCl pH 200. The change is expressed as the percentage weight by weight of the total formulation. Third one is level 3 changes. That is the major changes. Level 3 changes are those that are likely to have significant impact on formulation quality and performance. So that is the major changes, and they directly affect formulation quality as well as formulation performance. Example, any qualitative or quantitative excipient changes to a narrow therapeutic drug beyond the range for level 1 and all other drug not meeting the dissolution criteria as level 2. That means level 2, that is the major changes, and they directly affect formulation quality and performance. So in major changes, any qualitative or quantitative excipients are changed to a narrow therapeutic drug outside the range for level 1, as well as drug doesn't meet any dissolution criteria according to level 2. So that is called as major changes, level 3 changes. What is SUPEC IR? SUPEC IR means immediate release. These are the list of content for SUPEC IR. What is SUPEC IR? Second one is component and composition changes. So which type of component and composition changes that is acceptable? Next one is which type of site changes that is acceptable? Changes in the batch size, and last one is manufacturing changes. First one, SUPEC IR, scale up and post approval changes, immediate release, particularly for immediate release solid oral dosage form. So these guidelines provide recommendation for post approval changes in component or composition, site of manufacturer, scale up of manufacturer, and last one is manufacturing process and equipments. This, that means SUPEC IR, these guidelines which provide the recommendation particularly for post approval changes. Which type of post approval changes in? Like the component or any composition changes, site of manufacturing, if any manufacturing site or any changes in manufacturing site is required for manufacturer, in manufacturing, if any scale up, for scale up purpose, if post approval changes is required, scale up of manufacturer. So particularly for scale up purpose, if any changes is required, and last one is for manufacturing process and manufacturing equipments, if any changes is required. So all are acceptable. First one is component and composition changes. So in component and composition changes, focus on the changes in amount of excipients in the drug product. That means particularly concentrate or focus on changes in amount of excipients in drug product. So if any drug product is present, so any drug product is present, so which type of changes is occur particularly in the amount of excipient. Second one is not focus on changes in amount of drug substance. So if amount of drug substance is changes, so that is doesn't acceptable. But in drug product, amount of excipient is changes, that is focused. In level 1 changes, first one is test documentation. If you are performing any test, so prepare documents for this test. Next one is chemistry documentation. If you are performing any type of chemistry like stability study or color changes test, so also prepare one type of documentation particularly for chemistry purpose. In chemistry documentation, application or comparable, that means not comparable, application or not comparable release requirement, stability testing, one batch long term. So in chemistry documentation, application is required particularly for stability testing. If you are testing one batch for long term purpose, so application is required for stability testing. Second one is dissolution documents. If any dissolution testing is performed. So maintain the dissolution documentation, particularly for this type of dissolution study. Known beyond the compendial requirement. So known outside the not comparable requirements. Example, in vivo bioequivalence documentation that is doesn't require, and for filing, which type of documentation is required? Annual report is required for all testing you are already performed. In level 2 changes, test documentation is required if any test is performed. Second one is chemistry documentation is required. In chemistry documentation, level 1 plus 1 batch within 3 months accelerated stability study. So in chemistry documentation, you are right, level 1 plus 1 batch if any changes is occur within 3 months during stability study. So that is note down in chemistry documentation. And in dissolution documentation, three cases is occur. Case 1, high permeability and high solubility. Case B, according to BCS class. Case B, low permeability and high solubility. And case C, high permeability and low solubility drugs in vivo. So in dissolution documentation, you were added if you perform case 1, case B or case C. So add particularly data in dissolution documentation. And third one is bioequivalence documentation. So that is doesn't require as much other documentation. Filing documentation. For filing purpose, level 1 changes plus accelerated stability study added into the filing documentation. In level 3 changes, test documentation. Second one is chemistry documentation. In chemistry documentation, level 1 plus 1 month accelerated stability of 1 batch or 3 batches. That means in chemistry documentation, level 1 plus 1 month, level 1 plus 1 month accelerated stability studies performed for 1 batch or for the 3 batches. And dissolution documentation, particularly for case B. So what is case B? In case B, low permeability and high solubility. In vivo bioequivalence, full bioequivalence study is performed on full bioequivalence study is performed and its data is entered in test documentation except IVIVC verification. That is regarding test documentation. So in test documentation, first one is any chemistry study is performed like stability study, particularly for 1 batch or 3 batches. So that is entered in the chemistry documentation. Second one is in dissolution documentation, particularly case B study is performed and that is written in the test documentation. And last one is bioequivalence studies performed and that is written in the test documentation. For filing documentation, prior approval supplements and annual report that is attached in the filing documentation. What is site changes? It includes the changes in location of site of manufacturing facilities for both company owned and contract manufacturer. It do not include scale up. So what is site changes? That means it include changes in location of manufacturing facility for both company as well as contract manufacturer. So in site changes, manufacturing company changes, manufacturing facility for both company as well as contract manufacturer. So both changes are acceptable. In site changes, it doesn't include scale up. In site changes, for level 1 changes, which type of site changes or location changes? Site change within a single facility where same equipment SOP means standard operating procedure, environment condition and common person. So site change within a single facilities change, like same equipment is present, standard operating procedure is here, environmental condition and common any person changes. So in test document, chemistry documentation, dissolution are according to Compedial and in vivo BE bioequivalence not required. So particularly in site changes within a single facility. Which type of single facility? Same equipment is present, standard operating procedure, environmental condition and common person. So in test documentation, chemistry documentation is present. Next one is dissolution are according to Compedial, so that is not comparable, and in vivo bioequivalence, that is not required. And last one is filing the annual report. For level 2 changes, site change within a contiguous campus or between facility in adjacent city blocks. So that is in a level 2 changes. So some type of moderate change, if any, changes in the campus or between the facility in the adjacent city blocks. Test documentation. In test documentation, level 1 plus 1 batch long-term stability in chemistry documentation. So in test documentation, at the documentation, particularly you are performing any type of test. So level 1 plus 1 batch performing, you are perform long-term stability. So that is added in the chemistry documentation. And in filing documentation, annual report is attached. Level 3. In level 3, changes, site changes to a different campus. Example, which type of site changes to a different campus? First one is chemistry test documentation. In test documentation, any type of chemistry documentation, one batch for accelerated stability, particularly for 3 months. Second one is one batch for long-term stability or 3 batches for accelerated and long-term stability. That means one batch for long-term stability, otherwise 3 batches for accelerated long-term stability study. Next one is dissolution testing, particularly for case B, no bioequivalence study is required. And last one is in filing documentation, annual report is attached. That is regarding level 3 major changes in site changes, particularly for different campus. Changes in batch size. In batch size, post approval changes in batch size. So post approval changes in size of batch from the pilot scale bio batch material to larger or a smaller production. So post approval changes in the size of batch that is from pilot scale bio-batch material to a larger or smaller production. So what is pilot batch or pilot scale bio-batch? So bio-batch is in fact a representative of production batches having the same formulation and same manufacturing process with respect to equipment, process and control and the subject of regulatory audit at every step. So bio-batch, it is a representative of production batch that having the same formulation and same manufacturing process with respect to equipment, process and controls. So what is pilot scale bio-batch? Pilot batch or pilot bio-batch is one which is primarily used for scale-up and optimization study. So pilot scale bio-batch that is particularly useful for scale-up and optimization study. You can't take up exhibit batch until a pilot scale-up batch is completely successful. And no one can afford a stability study in commercial batch as it has a long lapse of time and its material will be wasted. So pilot biobatch is the one which is particularly used for scale up as well as optimization study, and you can't take up a exhibit batch until pilot scale up batch is completely successful. No one can afford a stability study in commercial batches. Scale down below 1 lakh dosage unit is not covered by this guideline. So, by this guideline, scale down below 1 lakh dosage that is not covered. So, above 1 lakh dosage is required for this guideline. Scale up changes should be properly validated and, if needed, inspected by appropriate agency person. So scale-up changes should be properly validated and if needed, they are properly inspected by appropriate agency person. In level 1 changes, changes in batch size up to and including factor of 10 times the size of pilot or biobatch. So we already discussed what is biobatch or pilot biobatch. The equipment is of same design and principle. Second one is both manufacturer according to compliance GMP and same SOP followed. So changes in the batch size up to and including factor of 10 times the size of pilot batch. So which type of changes is acceptable according to pilot biobatch? Equipment that have a same design and same principle. Second one is according to CGMP, compliance good manufacturing practice, and if same SOP is used. Test and filing documents are same as of the level 2 of the site changes requirement. So test and filing documents are same as of the level 2 changes. They are already in the site changes. Level 2 changes. Changes in the batch size outside the factor of 10. So test documentation. In test documentation, as per level 1 plus 1 batch with 3 months accelerated stability study plus case B dissolution testing. So in this test documentation, as per level 1 plus 1 batch, 3 months stability studies entered. Second one is case B dissolution testing is added. Manufacturing changes particularly in process changes. Second one, level 1 changes. These changes include process changes like mixing time and operating speed within an application or a validation range. So in level 1 change, which type of changes is occur particularly for process change? So in process, mixing time is changed and operating speed within an appropriate application range. Test and filing documents as per level 1 of site changes. In level 2 changes, these changes include process changes like mixing time, operating speed outside the application. So in level 2, for process changes, first one is mixing time. Which type of mixing time? Second one is operating speed outside the application or validation range, and test and filing documentation as per level 2 changes that is already specified in site changes. In level 3 changes, change in the type of process that is used in manufacture of the product, such as a change in from the wet granulation to the direct compression of dry powder. So in level 3 change in the type of process that is particularly used in manufacturing of any product. If you are using wet granulation and after wet granulation, directly you will use direct compression. So transfer from wet granulation to direct compression, that is called as a level 3 changes, major changes in process changes. For documentation, as per level 3 changes of component and composition changes. So for documentation, that is according to level 3 changes, they are already specified in component and composition changes. Thank you.